Hello everyone and welcome to another Sims 4 speed build. Today we are building a dark academia inspired home. I'll talk a little bit about the build in a second, but I just wanted to take some time to thank all of you subscribers here on the channel. We've just recently made the 1,000 subscriber milestone, and it is thanks to all of you. So thank you so much for being here with us, and for those of you that are regularly watching our videos, giving us likes, leaving wonderful comments, you all are so amazing, so a big, gigantic thank you to all of you. Also, I'd like to thank some of you that have recently participated here on our poll on YouTube. We put out some aesthetics of things you'd like to see in a future build, and the winner was dark and moody. Hence our dark academia inspired build today. I just feel like that fit that mood so perfectly, and I haven't done this kind of style of a build yet. Honestly, without using CC, this was extremely challenging. It was fun. I thought at first I was gonna do an apartment, but you know, I just recently did apartment, so I wanted to actually do a home. The apartment would have been a little easier. The difficulty that I ran into was the actual architectural styling. Because dark academia is, I'd say, more focused around like lifestyle and clothing and interior design. And lately, dark academia has been trending big time when it comes to interior design, but that's all inside and nothing outside. But it seems like the architectural features that are kind of featured around dark academia are obviously one that you probably think of right away is Gothic. And along with that Gothic also is collegiate Gothic, which you're probably like, what is that? So around the time of Gothic revival also came collegiate Gothic, which was basically the term that was given to that Gothic revival style that was used in universities and buildings involving education. Collegiate Gothic and Gothic revival, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory that the whole style was going after the original kind of Gothic-inspired buildings and Gothic-inspired architectural aspects of the buildings during that time. But also, kind of like weaved in with the Gothic was also those Tudor elements, which is really cool. So maybe you'll take a look at some of the big universities in the US like Princeton, Yale, Cornell. They all feature this style, and you might see kind of like those little bits of Tudor elements in there. I mean, basically, all of this was stolen from the European universities. Like the big ones, you think of Oxford and Cambridge have a lot of these architectural details, and I'm not quite sure. In some of the research I've done, I haven't really come across why they did that here in the US, but to me, I wonder if it was because they wanted these universities to appear as established and as old as the universities in England, because some of those English universities like Oxford and Cambridge, I think all started around 1100 AD, which obviously none of that was going on in the US. So I'm wondering if it was kind of a way to make these universities look more prominent, look like they've been there for a long time, look old, and therefore trustworthy. And basically, collegiate Gothic is what I decided I wanted to go for on the exterior of this build. And yeah, it was challenging because, as many of you know at this point in The Sims 4, we do not have a lot of Gothic elements. It is very, very limited and lacking. A lot of the elements that you'll see me using here on the exterior, you'll probably recognize from Get Together. And thank goodness for Get Together, because we got some Tudor and some Gothic inspired items, and then the big archways in the front of this place are from my wedding stories. I usually try to avoid using that pack because I know not everyone has that pack because it's been so glitchy, and a lot of people I know decided not to buy that. So I try to avoid using that, but we didn't really have a lot of other options. So I apologize for that. The only other like kind of pointed arches that we have in the game come with base game, but they are very, very, very short. So that doesn't work so great for what I was going with here. So I apologize for that. I know we had just got news recently of a future kit that's coming, I think, next year, which is supposed to be focused around castles and like medieval kind of stuff. So I'm really, really hoping we're going to get a lot of Gothic elements with that. Then again, I say a lot and it's just a kit. So yeah, that could have been a game pack or expansion pack. And I think a lot of us would have been really happy about that. I don't know about you, but yeah, you know I love this kind of stuff. And for the first time ever, I am doing the landscaping first before I move on to the inside. I had kind of planned this build out beforehand. I mean, honestly, I usually do that just because the building process goes so much quicker and it's so much easier. And I feel like it's probably better for you guys to watch that way. So that's been planned out. So I knew nothing on the inside was going to change. And in my mind, I'm like, this place needs to be up on the rocks. For some reason, it needs to be. I kind of want it to look a little bit like a castle. And then that was the other challenging thing, was trying to figure out, where am I going to build this? I really thought at first I was going to build it in Brightchester because, I mean, that would seriously make the most sense, right? Collegiate Gothic around the universities that kind of already have that feeling, which is also, you know what? That's a little frustrating. Looking at the university buildings in that world, there are Gothic elements, but then we didn't get any of that stuff in debug and it drives me crazy. Anyways, that aside. So yeah, I thought I was going to build there first because I figured this would look amazing in that world. But we have like such limited lots in that world. They're all like way too small. And then everything else is like student housing. So that was a bummer. So I couldn't build there. That was super disappointing. And then I'm like, where do I build this? Well, I wanted to build it up on the rocks. So then that was another thing that would look so awkward in Brightchester. And then I'm like, you know what? Glimmerbrook. I haven't built there in forever. I don't even know that I built anything on YouTube yet in Glimmerbrook, which is crazy. I was just kind of thinking of the environment because it's surrounded by trees, which is beautiful, and kind of those mountainy cliff areas, and then the stream or the brook that runs through it is so pretty. And I'm like, yep, this is perfect. So I really like how this looks in Glimmerbrook. I would highly suggest putting that here. I'm trying to remember what size a lot this is. It's either 30 by 30 or 30 by 40. It'll be down in the description because I seriously forgot what size it is. Yes, so that's what I did on the exterior. On the interior, we have 3 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. This is a 3-story home. You might have noticed that we included that mansard roof and we actually turned that into living space. And that whole 3rd floor of living space is all for skill building. Since Dark Academia is like so focused around higher education and the arts like literature, writing, and I mean even like painting and music and all that kind of stuff, I really wanted to include that in this build. And I would highly recommend this home if you have a Renaissance sim. If that's one of their aspirations, then I feel like this is the perfect home for your sims. You'll find books scattered throughout the whole place. This would also be a great place for a bookworm sim. So yeah, there's books scattered all over the place because, you know, the theme of literature and studying. I did also include lot traits for this, which I usually don't do. So this lot is a private dwelling and it's like the study aspect. I don't remember what it's exactly called. So basically, this is going to be a quiet place for a very studious or studious sims. So I'll talk a little bit of some of the skills that I included into this place. So obviously, yes, books. So there's tons of books everywhere. Your sims can read. They can learn a lot of skills from reading. Also in the living room on the main floor here, I included a grand piano. There is also in one of the bedrooms, there's a microphone and there's a violin. I always forget to put in violins. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why. Violins are fun. So there's the music aspect going on here. There is also, I think there's 3 computers, and I use the ones from Cottage Living that look like typewriters because I figured, once again, this is a great place for like a reader, writer, author. We had just built the Gothic Victorian apartment and that was kind of focusing around that. And I also wanted this to be another like great place for a writer. So there's the typewriter computers like spread all over the place. You'll see that as we go along. Wait, you don't like the typewriter? He's just getting tangled in my hair again. Why do you always get tangled in my hair? He likes my hair and then he gets angry when he gets tangled in it. I don't know what your problem is. Make up your mind. Either you like my hair or you don't like my hair. Anyways, before I was interrupted by a little grumpy bird. So we have, yes, typewriter computers, books, music, and then also on that third floor, that's the mansard roof, there is painting. I don't always include a ton of painting and easels and stuff. I don't usually include a lot of skill building items, and I realize I should do more of that, but I also don't, it's difficult because I try to design rooms with kind of a somewhat specific sim in mind, but I don't want to get it to be like too personalized where you can't just move anyone in. But I mean, unfortunately, that's what's going to happen. I usually kind of assume that you guys, if you download this, will put in your own skill building items depending on what your sims are like. But since this was kind of just very focused around learning in general, I wanted to put a lot of skill building items in. So yeah, that whole third floor, that top floor has tons of skill building items. And then also you'll see towards the end on that balcony area, I included a chess table. I kind of ran out of room on the inside, but I'm like, we need a chess table here. Yes, logic has to be a skill that has to be included in this slot. As we go from room to room, you'll see I tried to include a lot of dark colors in here with being dark academia. And I know it's either like, okay, with interior design, it's either dark walls, dark furniture, or I mean, depending on where you live, even if it's like an apartment, sometimes you can't change the walls. So sometimes you'll have lighter walls, but then maybe your furniture is all like very dark and all your decorations are dark. And I like both looks. I really wanted to go darker on the wall colors in some of these rooms, but also in my other video when I was doing that Gothic Victorian apartment, I ran into the same problem of there not being a lot of really good dark colors in this game, and that drives me crazy. I really, really, really wish we had more variety of wall colors, even just paint colors. And then anything that has like crown molding or any kind of like trim to it, there's not a lot of options. For our like brown wood trim options, the colors are awful. I keep saying this because they are. I just really want some more color variety in this game. And there's one other little feature I'm going to mention about this place. As we work our way up to the final floor, you may notice kind of in the background, because I didn't really do anything on camera with it. For those of you that are in the game often or that have played enough, you might notice there's a secret bookcase. So in one of the towers off to the side of this home, I kind of made a secret room. And, you know, that sounds exciting, but I didn't actually do much of anything with it. I put a couch in there because I figured, you know what, maybe a sim just wants to escape and read a book in peace and quiet. But I mean, I kind of also wanted to leave it for you guys, like, you know, if there's something that you wanted to hide in there, then it's just kind of a fun little gameplay thing that you can incorporate into your game. So yeah, I just left it very simple, but I thought that was kind of a cool little thing. But anyways, we're just gonna let you enjoy the rest of this video. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, everyone. Don't forget to give us a like. Giving us a like helps us out a lot, so we'd really appreciate it. If you're not already subscribed, consider pressing that button. Come and hang out with us on a regular basis. We have a lot of fun, don't we, Flynn? And thanks so much again, everyone. We hope you have an amazing week. We'll see you very soon in our next video.